Hello, hello, hello. Oh, what's going on? Hello, can you see me? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Hi, Winter, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm excellent. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to have you here. I don't know why I'm just buffering. I tried to change my background. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that you had a chance to stop in. There's my alarm. And here to Larger Curves, my name is Leah, by the way,
Nice to
but
meet
the
you.
people know me as Larger Curves. And I want to see you, but my avatar, hey, let me see one more thing. Maybe if okay. Let me take that away. There.
Yeah,
All right, can you see me now?
I can. It's fine.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you for being here, Winter Harris. I appreciate it. My name is Larger Curves. The channel is Larger Curves, and we do a lot of different things over here on this channel. And one of
Okay.
the things we do on this channel is get to know people. And I understand that you're a conversationalist. And hi, thanks for coming in. And that you like to talk and that you like to share your life. And you've been so inspirational on the show just with your authenticity. Because in this day and age, the authenticity matters,
It does
right?
a lot.
Okay. So I appreciate you coming out. I only have
Thank you for
like,
having me.
I'm a question girl. So we can have a nice, robust conversation.
Okay.
Um, And so, yeah, so okay. First off, thank you so much for coming here. You broke out this season on Love and Marriage DC's premiere season as
Yep.
a fan fave. Like, we love winter. And when Monique said winter was coming, we were like, okay, good. We already know it's going to be good because that's a great way to start, right? Winter is coming. Very Games of Thrones, right? So we were ready.
Right.
And then when you got there and you just added so much, I wanted to see more though. Like, I know you're not all drama. Like, you're totally a woman of faith. You're a
Yes.
businesswoman. You're a mom. You have you're studying for your doctorate. You're a doctor to be. And there are so many other things that we didn't even get to see on the show, Winter.
I
And I'm
know.
just really excited to even have a chance to talk to you about this stuff today. Okay. So, yeah, I love that you were so likable because there were actually some people on the show that I don't have to I don't know if I would really you seemed likable like IRL. You know what I mean? I'm not even being shady. I'm not super duper shady over here. I try to keep it positive. I'm unicorns and butterflies most of the day. But there is some shade required for growth, you know?
Yes.
Times you can't leave everything out in the sun, Larja. Okay. I learned my lesson. Okay. So, look, everybody's here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We're here with the beautiful, wonderful, talented woman of faith, Winter Harris from Love and Marriage DC, the premiere season breakout fan fave. So, I love your winterisms. That's another thing that we love about you. And, you know, I just want to thank you for being here on Larger Curves.
Thank you for
Um,
having me.
why don't you just give us hello to the people real fast?
Yes. Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm excited about the conversation. So every platform I come on is different. So I'm excited to see what we talk about on tonight. But excited to be here. Grateful for the opportunity to share with your platform. So I'm ready. I won't do too much of a long introduction because I feel like sometimes I look up and the time is moved through so quickly. So I'm like,
Right,
just thank you
right.
for having me.
I'm a talker too, Winter. I'm a talker too.
Yes.
I understand. Okay, so let me get into it. So I have some over there questions, some over here questions, some
Okay.
around the room questions, and just some getting to know you. Like, because I really want to get to know what we didn't get to see. Okay, because there's so much more. I'm positive. Okay, so how do you feel about this whirlwind, Winter? Like, how do you feel? I mean, did you expect to not only come in unexpectedly, because from what I understand, you weren't even supposed to be there. And then
No.
you came and you overtook. Okay. So can you say what this whirlwind has been like?
A little different, I will say that. No, it was not planned, and I was not supposed to be there. So I think that's a little, I don't know. I think I'm a person that kind of takes things as they come. So even though, no, it wasn't um, planned or anything like that, it's like, okay, so this is what it is. Even down to like some of the conflict, you expect conflict in life, right? But this is a very unique situation. So to have that type of conflict was definitely different. But
Right.
I tried to respond how I would respond in real life. I feel like I think it definitely caught my castmates by surprise, but people who know me for real are not surprised by it at all. I mean, most of my friends will be like, that mouth of yours, they gonna learn today.
We
And
loved
it's
it.
true. It's really true. So I really, because I didn't have any, and I like to give context because I wasn't supposed to be on the show. You have to know that because the show, I believe, got announced in December, which you have to know there's probably conversations that have been happening for months.
Uh-huh.
The cast had time to prepare, the main cast, you know what I mean? And even like the other, friend of the show, they had time to prepare. But
Right.
me kind of coming in completely blind, I'm winging this thing, like I think it's important that people realize I don't have any plan. I don't have, I don't find out about the pact until like midway through the season. So I don't have.
Well, I'm sure she'll be back. She was in the middle of saying that she was coming to the season in a way where it was almost a surprise because she had to, she came in at the last minute and everything. And everybody else had a minute to gel. Everybody else had a minute to get to know each other. So that's really interesting. I wonder how I would have reacted had I came in like that. Let me get some music going. I hate talking by myself. And I love daydream. Let's see. I'm live. Go away. I said I'm live. Awesome. Yay. Winter's back.
I'm like, I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Solar flares lately. I don't know.
It's all good. So I
Okay.
don't know
So
where I
go ahead.
left off. Um, but
So
yeah,
you were just saying that pretty much, well, from what I gathered, was that other people had a chance to gel, and then you come on, and you were
right.
like, a newbie to the group, and they just had a chance to gel was the moral of the story, and like, so here you
Yeah.
come in, kind of by yourself, and you were telling us, how did that feel?
Different. It was very different. And I think it was good and bad because again, you have those alliances that have already been formed. So you do have that element of it. But on the
Right.
flip side, for me, it really just allowed for me to come in and be myself. Like I mean, because I didn't have any preconceived notions or any like, plans or anything like that. Like I really just came in and was myself. So I think that really kind of caught a lot of my cast by surprise that they really just got my honest, authentic responses to things. I think, people have their different opinions, but yeah, I think I definitely shocked a lot of people, probably audience included, because I don't think people knew what to expect. They just kept mentioning like winter is coming, and I was kept largely a secret,
Right. Right.
until the show began like promoting, and then people were like, wait a minute, what's this whole winter character about? And I just think people really didn't know what to expect. And then when you kind of get into the season, you learn like, oh, wait a minute. Like, okay, so she's a lot more a part of the piece of a large piece of the puzzle here. And I think that
Yes.
just kind of threw people for a loop a little bit, simply because you don't usually hear of a friend of the show being so intricately involved, right, in the show like
Right.
that.
Right.
So
Like I was telling my dad about you. I was like, Dad, they had 10 episodes and 8 were winter. Like, I'm like, how did, you know? And I was like, how did that even happen? You know? And so that's why we're here today. And that's an insight. Thank you for that insight into how that even came to be. Part of what
absolutely.
I heard you say is that since they had a chance to finally to kind of click up, did you
Mhm.
feel like maybe Monique was gonna be a ready-made person for you, and then she turned
Absolutely.
out to need out not to be? Like, how did she deliver on your expectations? And had you ever verbalized an expectation? Was
No.
or
Mm-mm.
did you just based off of you said 15 years, right? Is how long you've known Monique,
Right.
like acquaintances or known. And
Right.
so, how did that feel? Like, also, like, how did that feel? Like, to me, I would have had my feelings hurt, honestly. That would have stung
Um,
a wee bit.
so for me, I was shocked. I ain't gonna lie. It's shocking because she is the only connect that I have to this particular friend group, and I don't think it was far fetched to expect that she would kind of be an anchor, at least for me, out of
Right.
the group of ladies. So to kind of see the huge flop, um, the human part of me and the part of me that thinks and analyzes, it's kind of like, okay, so what's the goal? To kind of ride the coattail of my particular personal situation and then offload me, hoping that it would be enough to kind of intrigue fans, potentially,
Mhm. Mhm.
and then the focus would be on them. And then once they reeled everyone in, it was like, okay, Winter, thank you for your drama, have a nice day.
Right.
That's honestly, that's kind of the vibe I get. It just didn't work out that way. Not because I planned it to work out that way, and I don't believe it's because they planned it to work out that way. You
Right.
cannot control audience response. You can't.
And
You can't
and we
control
responded.
audience response. You can't control audience perspective or perception, or you just can't. Those are the intangibles that I think you can plan as much as you'd like to. Um, like in the beginning, it was very rocky. I mean, I was like, what in the world is this? I signed up to be, transparent and honest about what was going on. And then it was like, you get people judging and making assumptions. And there were the craziest articles printed about me when the show first started. Like, they just had raggedy information. And it was like bits and pieces of like truth and blatant lies. And it was just, I was like, oh, so is this what we're going to do? Because I'm good on it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm completely comfortable with being transparent and sharing the ups and downs of my life. But I think, when you deal in reality TV, you do give up your freedom when it comes to really the narrative of telling your story. So I wasn't all that thrilled about some of the way things, were presented, because there was a lot of gaping holes that I think would have helped the audience kind of understand where I was coming from a little bit better, versus me kind of being thrown into the seat of judgment from onset. And
Right.
so that was a little different for me. But again, you know what you sign up for. You can hope for the best, but we don't get a choice in how we're produced. We don't get a choice in how that narrative comes across. And we don't get a choice in how the audience responds. So my hope was that at some point it would all work out for my good. I just really had to hold on to that belief. And even when I saw her kind of waffle and switch sides, it was like, okay, I'm glad I know where you stand. There was a lot of discussion with my team who really wanted me to, stay neutral and not, ruffle feathers and give her grace and, Winter, don't say this and don't say that and don't respond. But by the time we got to the reunion and, I see some of the responses on Twitter, I'm like, y'all, bump that. I cannot,
Yes.
I cannot sit here and not say anything and respond to what I just feel is blatant ridiculousness. And you're
Right.
defending something that doesn't need to be defended. You know, it's one thing to have your loyalties, but it's another thing to just blatantly defend something that is just absolutely wrong. And I told my team from this point forward, I'm doing this the way that Winter would do it, and let the chips fall where they may. Because
Wow.
in a lot of ways, I didn't respond specifically really to her in the way that I would have, like just being Winter. My team really kind of watered my responses down, and I understand their reasoning for it. But yeah, by the time the reunion went down, I was like, oh heck no! Every man for himself, every woman for
Right.
herself. Like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So I
Oh my
definitely
gosh. And
had
Ebony's
to.
with you. Ebony's with you. She does not blame you, and neither do so many of the viewers. And that's
Yeah,
how you happen to be fan favorite. Not, I mean, they would like had you hemmed up in a corner, and we were like, no, no, fight for your life, Winter, fight for your
yeah,
life. So
yeah.
that I don't even know how I ever would have responded in that situation. Like I said, my feelings just would have been hurt about it. But about the last thing about Love and Marriage DC, because I really want to get to know the rest of you. The
Sure.
last thing about that is there any word yet on if it's gonna happen again? Would you do it again? Would you participate with exactly the same people? Would you have any prerequisites going into another season, Miss Winter?
We haven't heard anything, and I think for me, I've been very vocal about saying I'm open to it. I would not return without backup. I would love to, integrate some of my real friends, like people that actually know me for real.
Yeah.
And I think the cast needs to be shaken up. I've also been very vocal about that. I think it needs
Mhm.
new blood. If we are to maintain, I guess, the originals, then we need to infuse it with some new people that can create balance. I don't feel like the cast as it is has balance.
Right.
There's been a lot of question about whether or not Tasha and Neil will be more integrated. I don't think that's a good idea. That's my personal opinion. Nothing
Mhm.
personal against her, but I think, there's a reason why things kind of played out the way that they did this
Right.
season. And
Right.
so when you get that, it's not like we're making that call, production's making that call. And I feel like if there was some sort of added benefit to having them more integrated into the show, they could have done that. There was no reason. They shot the scenes. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah, I heard
um
about that. I heard
so
she
I
shot a lot of scenes and they just
she
didn't
did.
show them. So,
So that's for a reason. Like you have to respect the people that are doing their job. There wasn't a
right,
choice that was made, off the cuff. They went with what they felt like, would make, decent reality TV. And not to say that she couldn't. I just feel like maybe they felt, I'm not going to speak for them. I will just say I feel like they could use a new couple, or
definitely,
two,
definitely.
to really provide balance. Wouldn't even be mad if they swapped some of them out with new people, but I'm sure they wouldn't be mad if they swapped me out with some new people.
Well, some of the co-stars have been rather vocal. They've been really vocal as the animosity we saw on the show has been playing out in these YouTube streets and in the interview world, where they say what they say, and it still doesn't change our minds. We just are like, oh, on top of it all, you're bitter,
Yeah, the fans are not budging. We've
Yeah,
gotten a new influx of people who have just gotten introduced to the show, and this new crowd ain't having it from jump. Like,
right.
literally, are like, we
Exactly.
are not with the BS. You may have taken the initial, maybe audience that saw the show, but the new crew that's coming through, it's like, oh, absolutely not. Um, so I don't know. I just, that's my personal opinion. Don't make it law. I mean, I wouldn't even not film with them. Like, I don't even have that kind of stipulation. I just think it's silly
Right.
and ignorant to take that stance. Like, that's like going to a job and be like, I'll take the job as long as that employee doesn't work here.
Right.
Like,
Right.
cut the crap. We
It's
all get
work.
paid. It is what it is. Been plenty of
Awesome.
people I've worked with that I didn't care for. So that's really not my concern. It's more so that I just feel like if if the show is going to be a success at some point, it really needs a balanced cast. And I don't feel like we have that right now. So it would be nice to see new blood and see if that could kind of even, not even in my favor, just even things out a bit.
I completely agree. Even speaking of balance, even aesthetically at the reunion, it was unbalanced because they had the two couples over there and then Monique and Chris over here with the empty seat for you. And so without you, they're just over there like third wheel basically. So you do need, even aesthetically, you need some balance. Two more
Yeah.
people at least. So like if it's you and another woman looking for love, that would be a fun thing to see navigated. I bet that would be awesome. Seeing a dating winter, perhaps. I don't know how you would feel about that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't work for
The fans desperately want to see that. It's occurring. I mean, it will be something to see. It's happening.
Oh, that's awesome. So excited for you. So excited. Yes, that would be exciting to see, definitely. And so yeah, that's enough of Monique. Enough of Monique. I did have one super duper messy question though.
Sure.
Did you ever meet Gigi?
No, but believe it or not, what is so incredibly funny, and I just think it's crazy how life kind of life. I never met her. I did hear about the whole breakdown and all that jazz. I didn't know her from that life, but
Yeah.
believe it or not, I recorded Sign My Papers as a single, and everyone knows Monique is a rapper, right?
Yes, yes.
And so her and Gigi were a part of a group together.
Right.
Okay, so the third part of that group did background vocals on Sign My Papers.
No way. 6 degrees of separation. Wow.
True
Oh my
story.
goodness. And we love that
Kendra,
song, by the way. We
yeah,
love that song. You
Kendra
guys,
was a part of that
download her
group.
song. Download
Yeah,
Winter Song. Where is it available for the people?
everywhere. iTunes, iTunes, Apple Music, Prime Music, Spotify, Shazam, SoundCloud, everywhere. TikTok, IG, like it's available
Awesome.
everywhere. Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's get and
Yeah.
support you over there.
Thank
That's a
you.
nice seg. Okay, so more questions. What would your
Sure.
theme song be, Winter?
So I'm kind of weird like that. Okay. So I have thought this through. I think if I were to roll up season 2, I think I would put. I'm not gonna tell it just in case if I come back, then I do it. Then it won't have the same effect if people hear about it in
Okay,
advance.
okay. Tell me a different one. And then
But
when you come back.
I will I will say, um, I love Bruno Mars, and he has a song called "Fly Is Me." I
Uh,
think I would love to have a theme song. I would love
Why
that
It's
"Fly Is
Me. I'm
Me."
gonna have to check that out. I don't know that
Yes,
song, but look, I'm putting it on my list.
the
That's
lyrics
cool. I write
literally
everything.
say, "I deserve to be with somebody as fly as me."
Oh, that's a good one, Winter. That is excellent. Excellent. And what an
I think that
affirmation.
exactly. The song is an anthem for me right now.
Wonderful. That is awesome. You guys hear that? Bruno Mars, Fly Is Me would be your theme song. Okay. What's your favorite book or verse in the Bible?
Oh man, I have so many. Um, Jeremiah, I think it's 29:7 or 29:17. For I know the plans I have for you, says
Yeah.
the Lord. Plans to do
That's
you good,
yes,
not evil.
that's
Plans to
right.
prosper you. Yeah,
Yes, that's
that's
hanging
one of
near
my
my wall
faves.
downstairs. That's my fave. Oh my
Yep,
gosh, that's on our wall downstairs. That is such an important scripture. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Wow. Okay, that says a lot of, the certain scripture says a lot about somebody. You could have busted out with the Psalm, but you went to Jeremiah for plans to prosper you. That shows you're a futurist in a way and that
yeah,
you intend on collecting on that goodness. I appreciate that type of
absolutely.
mind. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for that.
No
Okay,
problem.
let's see. Okay, do you cook? And if so, what are you bringing to the barbecue? What are the people looking for you to bring? They're like, "Ooh, I can't wait till winter gets here with."
Greens.
Oh,
Those are probably the most requested thing.
okay, okay.
But
I
yeah, I
love
do.
good greens.
Yeah, I was
Nice.
raised in the South. So yeah, I do. And I actually made fried chicken tonight in the air fryer.
Oh,
So
nice.
I don't know. I haven't heard a rating just yet. But
I bet it smells good. I bet it smells good though.
the air
Okay.
fryer is interesting. You can't. It doesn't smell up the house like like a regular frying pan or something would. So well, we'll see. What I
Yeah.
tasted good. So it's supposed to cut calories at the very least. So yeah, I would say
Well, that's
greens. I'm
calories.
bringing greens to the cookout.
Greens to the cookout. You heard it
Yeah.
here first, you guys. Okay. Let's see. What has your weirdest fan moment been so far? I mean, because you took us by storm. What have the people done to
Mm.
show you how crazy it can be as a fan of winter?
Let me tell you, we went to brunch. Oh man, a month ago, a few weeks. It's been about a month. I would say about a month ago. We went to brunch and a fan showed up,
Oh,
sat down, and invited herself to our table.
really? No way.
My a couple members of my team was there, but everybody was quite weirded out by it. It was
That
really
is
strange.
crazy. I would have been
Um,
a little put off. How'd you get her
yeah,
name?
we just all kind of sporadically got up and left because it was just like this is. They were just like, you cannot go anywhere else by yourself anymore. And I think like that's like literally like a 5-10 minutes after that, another lady walked up and was like, "Oh my gosh, are you the lady off of Love American?" See, I was like, "Yeah." So life has changed just a little bit.
Yes.
Believe it or not, though, I've been on social media for about 7 years now.
Really?
Yeah, so I've gotten weirdo stuff before. It's happened, but this has definitely been something different. Between that and the DM shenanigans, it's like, man, spare me. So
OMG. I saw your Instagram about the DM people, the latest DM names for people. Can you give them to the audience, please, just in case they haven't seen? It was hilarious. She's
I think I
hilarious.
I think I said the fake Christian, the narcissistic empath, and the circle back.
Yes, you guys.
Yeah.
You guys, check out her Instagram for the definition of those three. But
Foolishness.
those are some more winterisms for you, okay?
Absolute
Okay.
foolishness. I couldn't
Um,
believe people would never believe my executive assistant checks my IG for me because she responds to real requests and things like that. And she was messaging me today, like, it is completely out of hand over here. She was like, I don't know what's going on. This is crazy. Like, it's really bad right now. And I don't know
oh,
what has spiked the increase in the foolishness, but it's on a whole other level. Like, even down to them faking a business type of thing. And then
whoa.
they go into, shooting their raggedy shots.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
amazing. Deception is real, y'all. You guys be careful. Let your spirit of discernment work
Rough in
for
these
you.
streets.
Huh?
I said it's rough in these streets.
Right? Yes, the spirit of discernment may it bless all of your dates. Okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Now I know that faith is a large part of everything you do.
Yeah.
I went to your website and you have female faith, femininity. It's faith, 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 faith. And I love it. No, no,
Yeah.
like you are affirming the like who we are to expect, right?
Yeah.
So that plays such an important part for you. And I really wanted to know like how did you come to incorporate that into your life so much? Are you a PK? Was it just because like you go to parochial schools? Like, well, what had happened was what had happened,
Yeah.
Winter? That faith is so awesome in your life and like we're able to like see your like you exude it and we love it.
Yeah.
How is it?
So my parents were pastors. I tell people all the time I was born into it. So my experience all of my life, born and raised in the church. It's what it is. And my dad is still a pastor, so
Oh,
nothing's changed.
excellent.
Um, and my mom's still very active in church, and yeah, it's just always been a part of my life. I would say, in the last few years, which is kind of how we got to the situation that we were in the first place, I got really serious about it and started to serve for a community that was like a faith-based ministry and
Mhm.
was one of the ministers on board with that community. So I
Yeah.
ran a um, number of their trainings and teachings, and we would alternate like Sundays every couple of months, and we did phenomenal. I mean, we really grew that community. And then I ended up launching their Esther Academy back in December.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean, it's just always been a part of my life. I will say, nothing's changed as far as that. And I think that's really kind of weird for people to understand because this show definitely, I think, maybe shocked my audience just a little bit to see me kind of have this real personality versus, them seeing me minister all the time because I was
Right.
pretty hardcore about it. But I think I call it a blessing. One of the best blessings that came out of everything that I went through in the last year was that
Mhm.
it really allowed for me to shake kind of the image that a lot of us have difficulty shaking and really embrace like Winter as a person and say, hey, I'm human. I have a funny side. I have a sassy side. I have a
Yes.
side that can get upset or angry. But that part, the transparency, the authenticity of being a real person is what I found that has drawn a lot of the audience to me. And so I really aim to just be more of that person versus, being so buttoned up and rigid and ridiculous. And,
Yeah.
it doesn't reach as many people as we think. And so I'm kind of grateful. I feel like the audience saw me go through a bit of an evolution
Hmm.
this season. Like I definitely, who I was before and who I am now, a little different person. And I don't think you can go through what I've been through and not be changed by it. But one
Right.
of the things that I'm convinced of is that a lot of the things that we hold ourselves bound to or, accountable to are really, it's really men, men, people, women.
Yes.
But it's not really God, and it's unfortunate that the church at large, I feel, doesn't understand that. Therefore, we judge and we condemn and we, criticize
Mhm.
unnecessarily. We saw it recently with the situation with Beyonce, how critical when if you don't feel like she's a Christian, then why are you complaining about the world doing what the world does?
Right.
Doesn't
Right.
legitimately make sense. And so, and then with the criticism, it's like, and if she was not, would your criticism draw her to it?
Hmm.
So it's really challenged the way that I do life as a believer. And I find, and I probably will find that I'll be a lot more effective than I've been versus kind of catching the same bees with the same honey.
Yes, definitely. Wow,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. So you grew up this way and
Mhm.
it's been consistent, and I bet it's been a lifesaver too. I mean, walking by faith, it just to me personally, I've walked both ways. I've walked in some darkness and I've walked in some faith, and I choose faith. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's a
Same here.
choice. You know what I mean? So I
Oh,
appreciate
don't let the faith fool you, honey. I didn't have my time.
you, right? I bet. I mean, because it's life. It's life. It's life. Life is life, and like
Yes,
you said.
for sure.
Okay, let's see. I know you have some new business stuff. I have so many awesome questions. Okay, so what motivates and inspires you? Like, what's your formula for new projects and that you pursue? Like,
Yeah.
what's your formula for these new endeavors? Because I know you have one, and we're going to talk about it right after this. So I wanted
Yeah.
to see, like, how did you arrive there?
I'm I'm an inspired person. So even when I write, I'm not a writer that just writes to write. I'm a writer that writes because they're inspired to write.
Mm.
Much like any sort of relationship, friendship, a business, winter has to be inspired. Maybe, and I don't even get off into horoscopes or signs or all that stuff. However, I will say, being the Libra that I am, I find that we can tend to be a bit free spirited. And so I would say I'm very true to that Libra nature
Yes,
where
yes.
um, I can appreciate a person as long as I'm passionate or inspired. Once that leaves, more than likely winter will leave. And so
Right.
I've kind of found that that has been kind of woven in and out of my interest over the years with different projects or ideas. And it has to be something I'm passionate about. I mean, if I'm not, it's just not going to hold my attention. Like I kind of
Right.
have adult ADHD. So it's like if I'm not fully vested, yeah, I'm kind of good. I'm like that in relationship. Most men would probably say, yeah, winter doesn't linger long. Like once I'm out, I'm out. So
Yeah.
I just, but if I'm in, you have my full attention. Like I have a tendency, it's 100 or nothing. That's really kind of the way I am. Either I'm 100% in or I'm all the way off. And if I ever fall off, it's kind of bad because I kind of
Yeah.
tend to, go the extreme. So it's definitely anything I do, it's something I'm passionate about. I would say that about books I've written, courses I've taught, um, projects or events I've hosted. It's really been something that I was into at that time. Like with the Queen's Table luxury retreat, I'm passionate about it. So I go all in. I give it my all. Any events I've held, I'm all in. It's something I enjoy. It's something that I believe can provide value to people that attend it. So yeah, so it's about passion for me. If I'm not passionate about it, I can't just. This is why couldn't do corporate for very long because I
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
passionate about it, and
Right.
it literally was like dying. Like, and I know that sounds dramatic, but I was like, I am going to die if I keep doing this. I didn't
I
like
can
it.
relate. I can relate.
Yeah.
Speaking of the books you read, you guys, she's written 8 books. I have some titles here. Divorced in the City, that was in 2019. You did 2 in 2019 because you also had Bold, Brave, and Beautiful, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then in 2020, you said it was A Christian's Guide to Divorce God's Way, honoring God in the midst of broken vows. And was that like your handbook that you ended up with after everything?
So yes. So I'll actually I'll go back because the dates are a little bit off. So my first one I did in 2016 was
Oh,
Defined by
Divine
Grace,
Grace.
which was a devotional. Shortly after that, I want to say it was later in 2016, I did the Christian Guide to a Divorce God's Way. So that was done then. And then I dropped Divorced in the City, which would have been like 2017, 2018.
Oh, okay.
After that, I did, oh gosh, what did I do next? I want to say Bold, Brave, Beautiful Love was 2019. And I feel like I'm missing some other titles, but it is what it is. There was a journal I did right after Bold, Brave, Beautiful Love called I Am Not My Fear. It was a
Oh,
journal to conquer and overcome fear. So I did that one as well. And then I took it off the market, but I wrote a book called Clowns, Counterfeits, and Covenants.
oh my gosh. Now, why did we take it off the market? Is it
I
just
think I have to read it, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna re-release it actually and make some changes because I've learned some new lessons.
I bet now?
I've learned some new lessons, but clowns, counterfeits, and covenant would
Oh,
definitely have to be written. I wrote it the first time; it was a huge hit, and it was relevant for the time. But now
yeah.
that I've learned some new lessons, I would certainly make some adjustments. So I pulled it and retired the first edition. So we will be releasing it as a second edition
Oh,
with
nice.
um, some adjustments to the lessons that I've learned for
That
sure.
is amazing. So many books, so many inspirations. That speaks to some people probably that are going to be seeing this just about when to act on inspiration. just do it, you guys. Just like if you're inspired by something, let it out, share it with the world. You never know how it's going to go, but
Yeah,
it can help people. Those titles sound like
absolutely.
something I need to hear, you know? And not because I've been divorced or anything, but a lot of these other titles I feel like I could really get behind right now, you know? And even the handbook. I have some friends that have gone through divorce and they needed a handbook. Like they could have used it winter. So yeah, that's amazing. So this newest business that I've seen you launch is the Luxe shop.
Yep.
Okay.
It makes
That's
me
the
excited.
yes, right? So let's talk about your style, your
Yeah.
personal style, how it's evolved, and how this Luxe shop came to be. And I saw you did Shop My Closet on
Yes.
your Instagram. And I even went over to the Luxe shop and I liked many of the items. However, your girl's rocking a size 10. So that won't be happening. Okay. And that's just on my shoes. But I did like those glasses a lot. I
Yes.
like the glasses a lot. So we'll have to see. But why don't you tell us about like just that
Yeah.
and what it's called again?
So it's called the Simple Luxe Boutique. It's an online luxury resale boutique. And so we sell a number of items, luxury items for both men and women. And for me, I'm a lover of all things luxury. I think it is the prissy pageant girl in me. I'm not even going to lie. I did not grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. Let me just say that. So people
Okay.
often assume it, but that it would be incorrect. I actually developed a love for luxury when I went to college and just kind of observed a lot of the coaches' wives, like their style, like the different bags they would buy, and they would always be so classy. And,
Yes.
like that people know me for that, like, okay, Winter's a woman of class. Like, yes, I strive to be intentionally because I feel like a woman should always be a lady. That's my personal opinion. So I think, and it's not always about luxury. I tell people that I've seen some Gucci hot messes in my day. Like, trust me, just because you're labeled out does not mean that it is cute or
Right.
classy. It can
Right.
definitely look a mess. So I always teach women because I do etiquette classes as well. Like sometimes it's about presentation. It's not always about the label. It's about how you present the label. And
Hmm.
I'm definitely known for mixing both. I call myself cheap chic. I can mix something that's very affordable with something that's very expensive. And
Right.
it would all look expensive because of how I present and how I carry myself. So
Okay.
it's
Okay.
definitely about the presentation. Um, my daughter says I dress like a teacher. I wouldn't say that I dress like a teacher.
I don't think
Um,
so. I liked your style
I
on the show. I liked it.
I went through an evolution. My whole style went through an evolution on the show. It was my team's intent to make sure that every time I stepped in a scene that I provided something different. And I think too, seeing as how I was essentially, the world at large, whoever was watching the show was essentially watching me become a single woman again. So it's like, okay, embrace some of the sexiness because I had a tendency to be more conservative. You know what I mean? So they wanted to definitely trigger some of that grown woman, single, sexy energy and say, hey, you got curves, you've given birth, like you need to honor your curves, girl. So
Yes.
they pulled me out of my closet. It was a little tug of war because I definitely aim to be more on the conservative side. I think I shocked the heck out the believers, honey. I think I got so many messages about my cleavage being out during the course of the show. Like, y'all, I still love the Lord, but hey, it is what it is. But
Yeah.
I definitely would consider myself classy, but I like a little sass. I think I dress my personality. I think that it comes out, but I love good quality pieces. And I think that's why I went with calling the boutique Simple Luxe because I
Yeah.
don't like over the top things. I'm not going to sit here and wear like lime green heels. That's not me. But I do like things that are classy. I like golds. I like silvers, classic black. Most of my wardrobe is winter white or black. It is
Oh,
what it is.
nice.
Um, and I'll throw in some color here and there. But I do strive to be just a woman of elegance and yeah, it doesn't mean that I got $1 million in the bank, but I want to look like $1 million at all
Right?
times. Um, so, and I also too wanted to launch the boutique because I feel so often that Black women who embrace luxury is kind of a difficult thing for people to accept, that there are Black women who enjoy luxury items, and you can honestly, you're worthy of it. Like I almost feel like white women don't get the same criticism when they
Right.
embrace luxury, but let a Black woman do it. Oh my gosh, you think you're better, you're bougie, you're this. Like
Right.
I'm
Right.
worthy of it. So I think also kind of removing the stigma of Black women embracing luxury. But I've also been in a place where I might have wanted a luxury item and just legitimately couldn't afford it. So the
Exactly.
boutique is a way where we can bring real quality luxury designer items to those that are looking to enjoy luxury on a budget. So we have
Okay.
everything. Like I said, we offer things for men, we offer things for women. Ladies, if you shop for your husband, go, get him something nice over there. I think
Yes.
it's really nice when a man can appreciate luxury items as well, because again, we don't often see that in the Black community unless the man is, high profile or he's an athlete or things like that. Like, I think we got to start having better conversations. But for me, it's more so about what makes you feel good, the presentation. Like I said, I love to mix and match, but I consider luxury investments as well. And I often like to present the education with it. It's not just about buying a luxury piece to have it. It's also an investment. Let's
Right.
say, God forbid, something goes crazy and your money looking funny. Well, that investment you made could actually serve as a buffer.
Right.
And you don't get that with the purse you're buying out of Target or Walmart. It just ain't going to happen, So, sounds good, but I tell women, like, invest in good quality pieces, and pieces that will definitely serve as something that is an investment. My daughter, I pass some of my bags down, so she, gets her luxury investment pieces a lot younger than I did. But
Yeah.
I love that I'm introducing her to what good investment pieces look like. So yeah, I love the question. What is the authentication process like for the boutique? I do allow for people to pay for authentication at an additional cost. I don't mind doing that. What I will say is all of our pieces are definitely real. But for added peace of mind, you pay an additional fee and we'll definitely get it authenticated for you. No problem whatsoever. It's just there'll be a little delay on delivery of your item, but we can
Yes.
certainly authenticate.
See there. See there. That's a good question, Miss Corey.
Yeah.
And they had some messy questions in my chat. My chat that like I told you, we can be a little messy over here with my unicorns. My unicorns make a mess. Okay. But we'll come back to the messy mess. Okay. Because I had a couple more things that I just wanted to touch on, just in an effort to get to know you a little more, Winter. Before I let you go, I'm going to let you go at an hour. And if you don't mind, we can take 2 or 3 questions from the audience. So
Sure.
I'll cut mine so that we have 5 minutes for those audience questions.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a round of, these are a few of my favorite things.
Okay.
Okay. Because that's one of my favorite songs. And so for people to get to know you and me as your new BFF and everything, what are your favorite things? Like if I was out and I saw blank, I would think, oh, let me get that for Winter.
Coffee. I am
Really?
a coffee connoisseur.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So are we doing
Absolutely.
Starbucks, Dutch Brothers, Pete's? What are we
Coffee.
rocking? Any
Good
coffee?
coffee. I do love me some Pete's because I feel like their coffee is stronger than Starbucks. It's got
Mm,
a little watery for me over the years. Kind of like a good strong cup of coffee.
yes.
But coffee, hands down. You
Okay.
would be like, Winter
Excellent.
loves her coffee. Hmm.
Cream, sugar, no, black.
Depends. All the above. Depends on how it's made, though. I'm kind of picky. I'm a coffee snob, so
Okay.
but definitely coffee for sure.
Okay. Because I do rock. I love Pete's Major Dickinson's blend. I love it,
Yeah,
and I
Pete's
get
is
it
good.
with the. I get it a certain color. I can't tell them how many creams to put in it because I need it to go by the color that my Aunt Claire's used to be, and so
I understand it. I
yeah.
understand it.
Well,
I
that's
love my
good to
coffee.
know. So we would
Flowers.
definitely need some coffee or flowers, you
Yep.
said?
Love flowers. I'm a huge flower person. I just like having them around my house. So fresh
Okay.
flowers. Even though I'm not a great gardener, I think I told this on Facebook recently. I was showing them my plants on the deck. Those things had died a slow, painful death. But yeah, I'm not necessarily a gardener, but I do like flowers.
That is hilarious. So are you talking roses, tulips, dandelions,
My favorite is
daffodils,
hydrangeas. I love
hydrangeas?
hydrangeas.
Oh, they're so
But
beautiful.
um, yeah, I just like flowers. I really do. I'm not too picky, but I'm telling you, man, I love a good hydrangea. And I actually, that's what I tried to plant.
That is
They
hilarious.
died so bad. They were pink. They were so pretty. And those things fried so horribly. So anyway,
Oh my
I had to
goodness.
replace them, but
Well,
it is
luckily
what
we
it
can
is.
buy some more and
That's
just put
true.
them in the vase until the water runs out and then go get some more.
That's true. It was
Yeah,
so sad, but yeah, I love flowers.
awesome. Okay. And okay, so also as your new BFF, and because these are a few of my favorite things, what would I, okay, I'm doing blank and I'm like, oh my God, Winter would love to do this.
Karaoke.
No way. Well, that's obvi. I mean, so you that song you made on the show was off the top of your head, right? Did you ever fancy yourself a rapper or anything? Because that was quick. That was really quick.
Love me some
Karaoke.
karaoke. Just random.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. A good karaoke song. Okay. And if I was traveling to blank, I'd be like,
Mm.
oh, that's Winter's favorite. We're going to have to call her. She's going to have to come.
First class. And
Yes.
then
Yeah.
if you were traveling, oh, I love traveling too. That's like my therapy. Good spa. I'm a spa connoisseur. So if you were traveling and passed a good spa, like ooh, winter
Okay.
would love this spa, girl. Yeah, that would be me. I love a good vacation. I think as many as you can have in a year is necessary.
Awesome. That
Yeah,
is
I travel a
words
lot.
to live by. As many vacations as you can have in a year,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Have them. And okay, now the last thing is IRL. I'm invited to your birthday, Winter.
Which is
And
next
what?
month,
Yes. Okay. What day next month? What day are we doing?
26.
Okay, so you guys heard it here. September 26th is what she's
Yep.
rocking with. And what would your oh my God surprise gift be? And you'd be like, Larja, you were reading my mind. You read my mind. What would it be?
Small or large?
Oh,
I'm like,
hey, hey, we're vibing. I'll go into my savings for you. So it can be large. Let's go large because we were just talking about luxury.
see, my thing is when it comes to, I prefer people's presence.
Oh, that's so sweet.
No, I'm serious. And I don't necessarily always trust people's gifts. And I don't like returning stuff. So you would bring yourself in a nice card with a Nordstrom gift card of your choosing in it. And
That is
I would be
hilarious.
delighted.
That is
Um, but
hilarious.
I definitely prefer presents over gifts.
That is
Yeah.
hilarious. Oh my goodness. Yes. Well, I'll take a gift card usually because I could just buy my own stuff too. But,
Exactly.
and you're right, I don't really like going through returning stuff. But, and then you feel kind of awkward because if it's something that they're so excited to give you and you're like, oh, great. And then you're
I've
like,
been there a number of times.
yeah,
It's not fun.
yeah, I
It's
could
not fun at
imagine.
all.
I
Yeah.
could imagine. Well, that was my round of these are a few of your favorite things. Shout out to Julie Andrews. Okay. So I know there's so many. I had 3 more pages, Winter, but I told your
I know
people
the
we'd
time
be
goes by
around an
fast.
hour. And so you've been so gracious with your time and your energy and your essence and your authenticity as we expected, we received. And it's been so nice getting to know you. I hope
Thank you
the
for having
people
me.
in the chat and in the replay crew have found out some new things about Miss Winter Harris, and check out her books, check out her song, check out her YouTube. She has Simply Winter YouTube. She's
Yep,
Simply Winter on Instagram. Do you have a Facebook thing too?
I do. I
Oh,
simply went
excellent.
there on Facebook as well.
Excellent.
Simply went there on Twitter.
Yes. And under Amazon, all her titles, she has a Winter Harris section for her books. So you guys can go check those out
Yep.
also. Now, we did say that we were going to take a couple questions from the people, but
Okay.
one last thing, I just saw this note. So your UC, you did an article in
Hmm.
Healthline
Hmm.
about UC.
Yep.
So how is that working out in your life right now, and just what is your like overall, like, are you yoga or cardio for your health, like what's your, how are you keeping glowing and healthy and beautiful and on point?
And maintain my peace and my edges. I'm not a huge workout person. I really try to watch what I eat. Um, but I was diagnosed with UC 20 years ago. So I've been, you know, battling this for 20 years now. I mean, my daughter will be 21, and I was diagnosed before, I mean, pregnant with her. So she'll be
Mhm,
21. So
mhm.
21 years I've lived with this. And I would say overall, like, I probably have as good a quality of life as anyone. My doctors have been incredible. And I'm just really blessed and fortunate that it hasn't like hampered my life where it's hampered some others. But there are seasons of challenges because you go through difficulties with the disorder that it just
Uh-huh.
is what it is, and you just have to journey through it. But recently, in recent years, I've been really, really good. And
Awesome.
I do a lot of patient advocacy work around it. So that's where you get the Healthline article. And I also do patient advocacy work with pharmaceutical companies. So
Oh,
I'm
right.
actually headed to Patient Week, third week in September with a
No
major
way.
pharmaceutical company.
Awesome. Awesome. And for those of you who don't know, UC is ulcerative colitis.
Yep, it's a form of
Yes.
IBD.
Yes. And I was diagnosed with IBD,
Okay.
and I had my own whole little thing with it. And for me personally, it turned out that it was like, oh, it had to do with the amount of butter that I was putting on the mussels at that restaurant, the Dead Fish.
Oh
And
yeah.
that was my first, that's how I discovered I had IBD, you guys. So, yes, it can happen that way. So that's how I got my diagnosis. So, but yeah, IBD is no joke, you guys. And it can be like debilitating,
Yeah.
crippling. You got to stay yourself in the house. And so, yeah, seeing you, I appreciated that Healthline article,
Yeah.
especially because you talked about how you were navigating, getting all these degrees and everything, because it has to be hard. College campuses are big, and
Yes.
sometimes it's way over there. So I appreciated
Absolutely.
that article and how how you even navigated that on there. Okay, so three questions, and Lola Lane is in my house today. And Lola, I love her, and she's messy. So that was one of the messy questions that I had skipped over earlier. And it has to do with Ashley. Where did
Okay.
it go? Lola, can you either re-ask it? I'm scrolling through, looking for it. Oh, here it is. I have a question. Why is the chick with the little ass husband so mean to you?
She said I'm not her cup of tea. So I don't know. I feel like only she could answer that. But I will say the show was my first time ever meeting her. So she's not someone that has ever met me outside of this. And so I don't know. That's only a question she can answer.
Wow.
I've said what I've had to say about why she behaves the way she does, which again, sparked a whole Twitter back and forth between her and I. I
Yeah.
said what I said, and I think that her attitude could definitely stand to be adjusted in some areas. I don't feel like she's an overall bad person. I will say that, but her delivery and how she comes across it's just like I said, it's very me girlish, and I don't think it's necessary or called for. I can take a direct person all day, every day, but that was just a bit much.
Yeah, that was more than a bit much. It was like, because as a viewer, sometimes I get triggered because I'm like, that couldn't have felt good. And why didn't somebody help? And then even if you're on TV, somebody from production should have tapped somebody else on the shoulder sometimes, I think. I don't know how they do things.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we think that you would have made a good friend to her. And that's her loss, but you can't win everybody over. And especially when you didn't do anything to deserve that. So if they're looking for something, then whatever. Go on with
Yeah.
that energy. Anybody else have a question for Miss Beautiful Winter Harris before we go? Because I got questions, y'all. We can use mine or we can use yours. Okay? Okay? But I totally thank you for coming. If nobody else has a
Thank you for having me.
question. And you guys check Winter out on everything, Simply Winter. Get a book, read it. Maybe next time, if you ever decide to come back, if I treated you nice enough for you to grace my presence again, then I would love to talk to you about that other live that you did, about the faith and the orgasms. And I think that could be book number 10, because yes. I don't know if you're so inspired yet, but that would be some, that we could be here for another 3 hours talking about that, because even without faith, ladies aren't having those. And it's taking
How about it?
You know what I'm saying?
One of my fave subjects. So
yes.
Yeah, here for
Okay.
it.
Okay, awesome. So I'll reach out again a little later. And but we totally appreciate you coming here to Larger Curves today. Thank you. Thank you, chat, for your awesome questions and for your energy. And thank you, Winter. You guys check her out, check out her song, and we'll see you hopefully next season, Winter, and we'll keep an eye out for what you do. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Okay. You too. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Hey, you guys. Wasn't that awesome? Here, copy. Wasn't that awesome? I think it was awesome. Right at an hour. She was awesome. I think that was nice, you guys. Okay. I had even more questions, you guys. I'm so crazy with the questions. There were so many things I wanted to know about her. Oh my gosh. But I write questions like the person's not going to answer. I'm like, ooh, I have an hour. Let me write 60 questions. But if it's an hour and I'm asking a question, that means they have 45 seconds to answer each question? And that's no way to have a conversation, you guys. So I just had to totally let it go the way that, yes, 2 amazing interviews in uno mas month.